Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can tell, we're going to be doing a Rainbow Six Siege operator tier list. This is year 9 season 3, so the Scopos season. And just a little base criteria, I will say. A lot of people, when they do tier lists, base it purely off high level gameplay, which that will be a major part of it, but I want to make it known that if an op is good in lower tiers, that is going to help it out. So, like, for example, Capcan or Cav are not really great in higher ranks, but in lower ranks, they're pretty good. So they're not going to be, useless or anything like that. So, very simple. So let's just get started with it. Let's go Ace. This list is in alphabetical order, so it's a little strange. So, Ace, honestly, Ace is S tier. I mean, he's a hard breacher. I'm not a big fan of his guns, but a lot of people are. A lot of people say they're really good. I don't really like him, but he's a hard breacher. He can get the walls from afar, and he can use... Yeah, he has good guns according to the people. So, yeah. Alright, next we have Alibi, who, in my opinion, has a really... one of the best guns on defense. The only thing that hurts it is it does not have ACOG, but no recoil. I mean, Bailiff can create rotates. The ability is kind of bad, but it's easy to deploy, so this is definitely like more for site setup, and then you can go roam with an amazing gun. It might be a little bit of hot take, but I think I'm going to put Alibi A tier. I don't know if a lot of people would agree with that or not, but yeah, I think Alibi would probably be A tier. I just don't see anywhere, because she's not really mid, because yeah, she can do a lot to set up site, and then she's a great roamer with a fantastic gun. I think A is pretty solid. Now, also, if you're a regular watcher and you're wondering, why are we getting a tier list today? I've been sick, so I haven't been able to finish the video I had planned. But yeah, let's move on. All right, now we got Amaru. Honestly, Amaru's gonna have to go. I'm debating F. But with the meta right now, I think Amaru has a nice surprise factor, even more so than before, because before she had a surprise factor, right? But she was very easy to counter. But now a rush is very in play this year or this season, and going up through the hatches is very good. Now, if you're just going in through the main window with this, that's pretty dumb, I would say. Yeah, probably try to go up through hatches, or if you're going to go through a window, make sure there's noise being made. But basically, there's a bunch of stipulations to get Amaru to work, but she can work every now and then. I might move her down to F later, just because she's like a one-time per game use, maybe, if that. And her guns aren't that good. I mean, the G8's okay, but the Supernova's horrible. She has SMG-11, though, which is nice, and flashes, so it definitely helps, but... yeah, she's probably going to go C. Also, if you enjoy the tier list stuff like this, or, if you have any opinions, leave them in the comments. And yeah, if you enjoy this, leave a like, subscribe, Who knows, maybe you'll like my other content. Yeah, let's continue. Alright, next we have Aruni, who, in my opinion, is probably S tier. Now, I'm trying to think if I'd put her above or below Ace. Some people might not even have her S tier, but in my opinion, I think she's just so useful. She has a DMR on defense with ACOG. It is so good. And then even if you don't like DMRs, or you're planning on playing close angles and stuff, she has the P10 Roni, which is super fast, has low magazine, but it is super fast. And that can get the job done. And then her ability, I mean, it can provide so much, right? Like, it can stop a rush, or it's going to destroy util, or it's going to give you information. It's going to do one of those three things at all times, pretty much. She has a deployable cam as well, can obviously create rotates. She is very, very good on defense. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Ace, so I think I'm going to put Aruni ahead of Ace. I don't like Ace, honestly. I'd rather play Thermite or Habana, but we'll get to that in a sec. Also, I do stream a lot of Twitch, and in a recent stream, I had to get naked because I hit Plat. We're oiling up when I hit Emerald, so go to twitch.tv/birthroad. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I stream. Most of the time, Siege, sometimes other stuff. But yeah. let's just continue now. That's all the plugs out the way. Now we can get this tier list done and over with. Ashe, I hate to say it, but I kind of am an Ashe main, especially in standard. I mean, I'm not gonna try that hard, but even in ranked, for me, Ashe is so useful because I am really, I'd say my role on my stack is a fragger. And Ashe is very well at solo play. She can destroy a lot of utility, obviously. She probably has the best gun on attack, in my opinion. Yeah, she is just a top fragger. Great at destroying util. I don't know if I want to put her S, though. Like, I want to just because I play her all the time. And she does have good use at breaking utility and stuff. No, she can go S. She just... There's not really any other people that can do her job other than one we'll get to later. But she's the best at doing her job, and her guns are really good. She's the best fragging option, so I think S is pretty fair, if you ask me. But you can frag with any op, really. I mean, and for the most part. Sorry. So, I'd probably put her S. I think that's fair. I don't know. I'm trying to think if Ashe should go above either of these two. I think their use, the Aruni and Ace, I think their use is probably a little better because it's more team play. Ashe can be team play. I'm not saying she can't, but she is definitely more of a solo op and a fragging op. So I think she's going to stay behind them, even though I love Ashe. They need to fix that Rhea Ripley skin, though. All right, next we have Azami. Azami's obviously S tier. S tier in both the meta now and really fun. I don't know. She's definitely ahead of Ashe, but I have to think where I want to put her. Obviously, she has a top 3 SMG in the game. Arguably, she has the best pistol in the game, being the Baylet, or not the Deagle. She has impacts. Her ability, obviously, she can make concrete. The only thing is concrete's a lot more easier to destroy now, which, in my opinion, I think is good. I think it makes her perfectly balanced. She's still really, really strong. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might... That's actually so tough. It is so hard to place Azami because she is very similar to another op we're going to get to later where she's a very creative, right? Like, you can throw that concrete anywhere. Like, you can make a little fort. You can completely seal off, like, different ways and stuff. It's complicated, but I think I'm going to put her above Ace. Like I said, I'm just not a big fan of Ace. And Azami can be team play, everything. She can make rotate, she can reinforce, she can roam. She has the guns to frag. Honestly, don't know how she hasn't been nerfed a little bit more. But, yeah. I just don't want to put her ahead of Aruni because Aruni has a DMR, which makes her a lot better. And I think Aruni is a little bit easier to master. But at the same time, if you're good with Azami, she should probably be better, right? But I like to take everything into consideration when I'm doing like a tier list like this. So I don't want to be unfair and make it be like, oh yeah, if you're a champ player, obviously Azami's going to be best. I want it to be, in general, who are the best ops. But it's so close between those two because they do similar things, right? They give you information. They can block off areas. They can burn util. I think I'm gonna put Azami ahead just because Azami's on the go. You can keep him on. You do whatever. So yeah. All right. Next we have Bandit. I mean, Bandit's a staple. I'm gonna put Bandit ahead. This is gonna be the boring answer. Almost every site, not all of them, but almost every site needs either a Bandit or a Cade. So, yeah, he goes up there for that reason. Now, his guns are fantastic. He has the MP7, and his pistol's okay, but... sorry about that. My OBS crashed. I have no idea what was up with that. But like I was saying, Bandit, amazing primary with the MP7, and the pistol, who cares, has C4, or Barb. Honestly, if you run Barb, though, you're kind of weird. I believe he has Barb. He might have deployable cam. But either way, C4, for sure. The only hard part about Bandit is learning how to Bandit trick. But Bandit is essential. Bandit or Cade, I should say. They're interchangeable depending on your preferences. But one of those two is essential probably about 90% of the times on defense. And also, if you're not tricking and you just place down the bandits, you maybe know they're not going to run a hard breacher. You don't think they will. Great roamer. 3-speed, great gun for roaming. Can get in and out of places, blow things up. So yeah, bandit's going to be at the top for now. I don't know if it'll stay like that, but yeah. All right, next we have Blackbeard. Obviously, Blackbeard is getting a rework next season. But my opinion on him, I don't think Blackbeard's that bad. Now, I think he is not good. He is pretty bad, but he's not horrible. He's not F tier, right? At least my opinions right now might change in a bit, but his guns are horrible. Let's just be honest. Other than the Deagle, he has grenades, which is okay. I think he also has breach charges and claymores, if I'm not mistaken, unless they give him EMPs or something. Either way, he brings nothing on the utility side. His gadget, he has a shield he can put on his primary gun that will save you from one bullet. Now, you're probably wondering why I have him in C tier and not F tier, and above Amaru at that. If you are good, just at aiming, really good at aiming, and a little bit of game sense, Blackbeard can guarantee you one kill. He can pretty much guarantee you one kill if you're good. I would say when I play Blackbeard, I don't play him too much, but when I play him, I would say I get a kill about 80% of the time, which is pretty high. You wouldn't really say that with many other ops that are like in this tier, right? Like if you look at Amaru, you don't get a kill with Amaru 80% of the time. There's no way. If you're consistently using her. Now, if you're being smart with her, you might, but Blackbeard, you can get a kill pretty consistently as long as you're good. Now, if you're bad, if your aim's not good, don't play Blackbeard. You're adding nothing to the team. But if you're playing Blackbeard and you can pick off their top frag or second frag, just because it guarantees you that extra second of protection, then it might be worth it. But in my opinion, Blackbeard's not worth playing. I say I get a kill 80% of the time, which is true. But I could probably get a kill 80% of the time with Ashe. So why would I play Blackbeard, right? So he might move down to F, but as of now, I put him C tier because he is pretty much a guaranteed kill. Now, obviously, if you get the kill and live, you can have another one. But yeah, it is almost completely reliant on gun skill. So that's why he's going to go in C tier, because he is horrible unless if you're really good. All right, next we have Blitz. If you played Siege at all this year, you know that shields are absolutely broken, and I'll give my opinions on that in a second after we talk about Blitz. But Blitz is probably the second best shield op in the game. I think he's got to go S tier just with the meta right now. I'd honestly put Blitz. I'm just gonna put him above Ashe because you typically only have one person on shield in the meta now, and it wouldn't be Blitz unless if the other one gets banned. But here's what I'll explain. Blitz, obviously, he has the flash. His pistol's okay. You can push people down. They can't do anything about it. But shields are broken. If you play Siege, you know that. I mean, all shields can sprint. You can look around, which doesn't really affect it. You reload behind the shield, which is good as well. If you have a melee clash with a defender, you are invincible. So if you try to melee the shield and I melee at the same time, it does nothing to me. But I knock you on the ground. As well as when you knock them on the ground, there is zero chance for them to shoot you. You knock them on the ground, all you have to do is hit them again and they're dead. Unless they're 3 armor. Then you have to hit them again and they're dead. But they can't do anything. Right? So shield is extremely broken, extremely hard to counter. So that's why Blitz is going to go S tier. And my question, I guess, for Ubisoft is, shields are terrorizing ranked lobbies all the way from Copper to Pro League. I mean, I mean, Copper can't handle shields, and Pro League they even ban shields. Like, so I'm just confused as it's been 3 seasons, and the shields are still like this, and there hasn't even a rework hasn't been announced for the shields, which I find crazy. I think they should just revert it. Just I think they should just revert it for now, and then come up with something. But I'm not a dev. I don't know what I'm talking about. I honestly think the best rank to deal with shields is probably plat, like Emerald area, because the shields aren't good enough to where they're invincible like they are in Pro League, and in that rank you have good aim and you have good game sense, so you can kind of take them out. So that's the only rank where the shields really work. They don't work at all in Pro League, don't work at all in Copper, and I would really just say Plat, not even Emerald, because an Emerald shield player will do great. But yeah, let's move on. We have Brava. Brava for me is going to be A tier ahead of Alibi. Now, Brava's good. Her guns are bad. She has the Chimeras and the Para, which neither are good guns. She has super shorty secondary, though, which is good. The problem with Brava is it relies on two things. One, it relies on them to run util worth hacking, right? So say like a Rooney, that might be worth hacking because then the defenders can't rotate through unless if they waste something big like an Impact or C4. But say if you hack like, let me find an example down here. If you hack, dang, this is kind of tough. Well, there's not that much to hack. I should say that. But say if you hack like a Jaeger, that often is not going to do much because I think that will only burn impacts. I could be mistaken, but won't do much at all. Yeah, but that's not even a big issue because utilities ran a lot, gadgets ran a lot, so that's not bad. But you're also relying on them not to hear that loud ass and drone and see that giant fucking tank run through sight. Like that thing is so big and so loud, it is so hard to hack something unless if it's like a camera. And in which anyway, they can see if it's highlighting the other color and they can shoot it. So it's great if you can get it to work. The problem is getting it to work because it's so big, it's so loud, her guns aren't good, and yeah, now you're still wondering why I put her A tier because, well, imagine you do get a Vault Cam. You have complete intel in their sights, or you do get in a Rooney. They can't leave sight. You have everything cleared there. You get a Fenrir. They can't push back into certain spots. Well, they don't know they can't, but they try to push back into a certain spot. Free kill. They can't see. Right? You hack a Maestro. You can kill the enemies with their own devices. So yeah, it has a lot of use. It is just very hard to get it to work. It is very rare that a Brava ever hacks anything that important in our stack, because even some of the like support players and the players that aren't as good with their gun still hear that loud ass drone and shoot that big ass drone. So yeah, I'm saying a lot of negative, but when it works, it's great. And when it doesn't, you're kind of forced to be a really bad fragger. But I would still say A tier because, like I said, if you get it to work, it's great. But I'm going to move it behind Alibi just because the higher skill level you get, it's going to be a lot harder for sure. All right, next we go to Buck. Buck is going to be S tier, I think, ahead of Ash. Now, this list is looking very lopsided, but don't worry, we haven't got to the bad, like a lot of the bad ops yet. But Buck in S tier just makes a whole lot of sense for me. I think Buck is the most solo team op out there because you can completely play by yourself with Buck, or you can be nothing but help to the team with Buck. And I think that makes him great. He has a fantastic gun, which obviously can turn to a shotgun. And he can play above, he can play below, he can hard breach, he can flash. And his only downside to why I wouldn't put him higher is he's loud, right? He's only a 2-speed. He has great guns, but some of the stuff he does, other than the verticality, like he can play above or below, that's kind of the only thing that's unique to him, because there's other ops that could hard breach. There's other ops with good guns. There are other ops that can play team and solo, but I think that's a fair spot for Buck. I'm really torn because I want to move him up. I don't know why, but I don't think he brings more value than Ace. And I really don't think he brings more value than Blitz right now, because Blitz is the second option, and shields are so broken. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it like that. All right, now we have Capital. Honestly, I want to put Capital F tier. I'm just trying to think of something that helps him out here. I believe he has super shorty. I believe he has hard breaches, maybe grenades. But his primary guns are horrible. He has the Para and he has the Gridlock LMG, which both suck. He has a 3-speed, which is nice. His smoke is kind of useless, though. Because a lot of better ops can have smokes. Now, coincidentally, none of the attackers we ranked have smokes, but we'll get to a lot of really good ops that do have smokes. So that's kind of pointless. So you're really only playing for the fire. And the fire's not big. It doesn't spread like a Goyo one. It's kind of like a Tachanka one. Might be a little smaller, if I'm not mistaken. But it is not that big of a range, right? People can escape it easily. Now, you can obviously use it to force people out of spots, like flush them out. But I think there's another op that's way better for that. He used to be a lot better because you could play it through a bullet hole from below. But I believe they got rid of that. So you have to play it through a floor from below, which isn't bad. But again, if you're going to play from below, why not Buck? So, anyway, with Capital, I think he's F tier just because there's no reason to bring him. Like I said, other than the fire, but you don't really need that. Like, in what situation are you ever going to use that in? Like I said, if you want to flush someone out, there's better ops, which we're going to get to in a bit. But I don't think he adds anything to the team, honestly. All right, next we have Castle. Castle is probably the hardest person to rank in any tier list, in my opinion. Especially, I'm not basing it off just the top tier level. So, Castle for Coppers is F. Castle for Champs is S. Arguably number 1. Here is my gripe with Castle. He's very hard to learn because people try to learn him. Now, that's going to sound weird, but I'm going to put him in A tier. He's S in the right hands, of course. You ever watch your boy Roy? That's a S tier op. Castle is used to create angles, sights. He basically changes the entire map for the attackers, right? People try to learn Castle strats, and in my opinion, I don't think that works. I think the best way to play Castle, unless if you're copying like your boy Roy strat, because those Castles are great, but the best thing to do with Castle is to experiment, because if you do something you don't expect, how are the attackers going to expect a completely new site, a completely new upstairs, right? Like, how are they going to expect that? And how are they going to play that? They have no idea what you're playing because you've changed the map completely. So that's why I'm going to put them A tier, because you have the ability to change the map. And I think even in the lower ranks, as long as you stop trying to follow like Castle guides, or you stop trying to play like the castles you see in other games, you're going to do a lot better with them. If you want to get good at Castle, because Castle can be one of the best, your boy Roy's great. Some Pro League Castle strats are great in rank. You got to keep in mind Pro League's a little different than rank. Doing Pro League stuff is not going to guarantee you a win in rank. But I will say, if you look at Consulate Castle strats, now, I won't be credited with it, but I did post this online in one of my videos. I did kind of originate the Castle strat that's used a lot in Pro League Consulate in Basement. Now, they probably didn't get it from me, but as far as I know, I'm the first person to do that strat. So, yeah, Castle has great uses, and a great Castle can even create pro-level strats. So, yeah, in my opinion, you just got to be freaky with them. Just get weird. That's my tip on Castle. I don't know why I'm giving a tip, but that's why he's an A. All right, next we have Cav. Cav is going to go B, mid. B is mid tier, obviously. Cav either gets a lot of hate or a lot of love, and that's it. Kind of like... Never mind, I'm not going to say that. But Cav is a low rank demon. If you have semi-decent aim in silver below lobbies, oh, you are going on a tear with Cav. I mean, you could be top frag every game. You're helping out the team every game. But once you get to like gold and plat and up, and you see a Cav, that's a free kill almost. It's so tough. Because Cav is horrible in high ranks. But Cav is god tier in low ranks. So that's why I put her mid. Because she is, depending on who you are, she might be super useful. Now, she is not completely useless in high ranks. I will say, like, if you're really good, if you're better than your opponents, you're probably going to do good with her. The problem is, all of her guns, all of them are horrible. Now, I know the pistol is one-shot headshot, and it is like a two-tap, but the sights are, I mean, let's be honest. It's a pistol. You got no sight on it. Not the best. You don't want to be using a pistol against an actual gun. But especially with all the tracking ops now, she does counter Jackal, but I don't believe she counters Deimos, and she definitely doesn't counter drones. So that's definitely her weaknesses. Everything's a weakness other than she does have impact. She can create rotates. Her only strength is that interrogate. But if you get an interrogate off, you can finish the whole team with that. Now, a lot of people, including myself, when a Cav interrogates, you run as far away as possible. As well as a lot of people, when they play Cav, this is a big mistake. As soon as they down someone, they go for that interrogate. They don't even bother to think if someone else is there. So yeah, Cav is either the best op or the worst. It just depends where you're at with that. All right, next we have Clash, which Clash used to be F tier. But I honestly think she is mid now. I put her on the low end of mid behind Cav, because Cav is hard to rank. Just being honest, if I'm basing it off all ranks. Or let me grab a drink here. Flash is a lot better with the shield buff, because she's a counter to shields, if you did not know. And you're pretty much guaranteed to go against the shield in today's ranked at least once every 2 games or something like that. Her guns are obviously not great. She has rotatability, which is nice. But yeah, she's just a main counter to shields, which I think puts her in mid because it gives her a use. And Clash, in my opinion, was never the worst op. If you were playing as a team, Clash is not a bad pick. Now, you got to be careful on some sites now. If some sites are like all soft underneath, or if they're all soft above, you don't want to play her. But you look at like Basement Oregon. If you play Clash, what are they going to do? You play Clash and have a teammate playing like near you. What are they going to do? They can't do anything about that, right? And with shields now too, she counters shields, which are the most broken thing in the game. Yeah. I'd put her mid though, because she is very easy to counter. You kill her through a floor, kill her through a ceiling. Knife the shield, easy. Yeah, not much to do there. And the EMPs as well, secondary EMPs, you can disable her, rush her. That's why she's mid, and she has no good guns. So if you kill the rest of the team, then no issue. And you can see through her shield as an attacker. So she has a lot of weaknesses, but in today's game, she has a lot of advantages. And I'm wondering if the shield buff was just so she would have a use, but I doubt it because they haven't gave her an elite, and I think the reason why is because they don't want people playing Clash. I don't know. She sucks. And I'm realizing her logo is terrible. But anyway, let's continue. Next, we have Deimos. I'm very high on Deimos. But I don't know if he's S tier. I'm going to put him top of A for now. Deimos is a fragger. Very simple. He's good at flushing people out. He's good at getting information. He has an amazing gun. And people don't know, you can use Deimos through multiple walls, multiple floors. Like, you could be in basement on, like, say, lair, and you can shoot all the way up into the top floor, right, and kill someone. So I don't think people really understand the magnitude that Deimos has. He doesn't have a lot of weaknesses either, and there's some techs you could do where you could see their location and they can't see yours. So Yeah, a lot of people play him below, which is obviously great. But don't forget, he has grenades. He has one of the best guns in the game. He can flush people out for your teammates. It's not even necessarily for you. So I'd probably put him A tier. I think as fraggers go, Ash is probably the best. Like, because Ash is also, I'd say, most of the times a pure fragger. Whereas Buck, like I said, can be team play, although he can be a fragger as well. I think Ash is probably best pure fragger just because it gets rid of more utility. But Deimos has some amazing guns, and that pistol is better than half the primaries in the game. But learn Deimos, honestly. Easy guns to control, and just a great op for fragging. All right, next we have Doc, which I am a big hater of Doc. I'm a big hater of all the healing ops. But it pains me to say Doc is still A tier. I'm probably going to put him above Castle. It actually hurts for me to put Doc in A tier. I think healing is so bad in Siege. I don't know how more people don't come to this realization. It's a one-shot headshot game. And the only way you're not getting one-shot headshotted is you're either slamming everyone, you're in trash lobbies, or you get lucky, right? On the quick peaks, they don't aim high enough. They hit you in the neck or something like that. Now, there are a lot of times where you do get hit and don't die, right? I'm not saying that's not possible. But I just think in a one-shot headshot game, it's kind of pointless to bring a Doc. For his ability, anyway. Now, for his guns and gadget, like he has deployable camera, which is great. He has a bailiff, so he can make rotates. And he has an MP5 with ACOG. I mean, that is so strong on defense. But that's all he brings. Doc is really a fragger. Sadly, he's a one-speed, so you can't... I mean, you can run with him, and a lot of people do. I mean, I do. And then the stems pretty much go to waste because they all go to him, and he might get one kill. But I'm just saying, Doc is... it pains me to put him up there, but his guns are so good on defense, and he actually can help the team a lot even without using his gadget. And he can definitely waste a lot of time because, like I said, Doc is slow. He's probably not going to get a lot of kills while roaming if he does. He's going to waste a lot of time. So he's going to go A tier, but I do not like healing in Siege. I think it's bad on all the ops. All right, next we have Dokkaebai. I mean, they nerfed her, but is Dokkaebai still arguably the best op in the game? Yeah. One, her weapons are probably... the Bashti is the best gun in the game. Sorry to anyone who disagrees. The Bashti is the best gun in the game. You can one-shot from pretty much everywhere. The only place you don't one-shot is a really long spawn peak. Even a mid-range spawn peak, you're getting a one-shot. Now, obviously, you have to hit him in the chest or up, but that's where you should be aiming at the head anyway. So if you aim a little lower and hit the chest, you'll get him. And then not only that, that's obviously two shotgun. They miss, right? You switching up the SMG-12. In my opinion, the best secondary. I've always been SMG-12 gang over SMG-11. Great. It's a great secondary. Now, either the SMG-11 or SMG-12 might be the best, but either way, it's also broken. And then she can just call you at any time, get you off cams. Your spectators can't be on cams. Now, I know she doesn't start with one now, but still. And then she can kill you, pick up your phone, have all of your cams, and yeah, she is the devil. I want her nerfed to the ground. Honestly, I know a lot of people don't like that. They hear ops, like a lot of games, Siege doesn't really do this, but a lot of games see a broken op and absolutely push them into the dirt. I normally hate that, but I don't with Dokkaebai. Dokkaebai is the most annoying character, good or not, annoying. So, yeah, Dokkaebai's the devil. All right, next we have Echo. Echo is going to go A tier. Probably just ahead of Brava. No, Echo's going to go ahead of Alibi. Sorry, like I said, I'm feeling a little sick. Gotta drink a lot of water. Echo is always weird. I feel like every time they change Echo, he changes drastically, even though it's so small. He has deployable shield, which is the best secondary, the best secondary gadget, I guess you'd call it, that you could have in the game. on defense. So it is the best secondary get. Okay, make sure I said that right. He has MP5 SD, which is suppressed MP5, with ACOG. He has the bearing 9 as the secondary, which is not as good as the SMG 11 and 12, but still really good. His cameras obviously can stop plant. They're very good for information. And a lot of people don't know, but Echo can be a very solid roamer. Now, what I do with Echo is a little bit differently. I like to anchor-ish. My strats with Echo are kind of weird, but he's so useful. I mean, having intel like that, being able to stop plant, having guns like that, having a deployable shield, I mean, honestly, I might move him to S. I'm really convincing, because what is bad about Echo? He's a 1-speed. He has no rotatability. He does have impacts, but you're not running that over. You shouldn't run that over deployable unless you have a bunch of other people running deployables, but that normally means they're playing bad ops. So, because most of the bad ops have deployable. But the only thing he's missing, he's a 1-speed and no rotatability. And he's a counter to shields, which is great. I think I'd honestly put him behind a Rooney. I somehow convinced myself to go from A to top 4 as what we have right now. He has so many uses. He really does. So, yeah. All right, next we have Ella. This list is still top heavy. Just bear with me. But Ella might... I think I'm just going to put Ella top of A. I want to put her S because she's a big counter to shields. Probably the best counter to shields, at least in my opinion. I find her the best solution. But... she's a 2-speed. She has no rotatability. She has a deployable shield, though, which is great. But she's kind of hard. She's kind of tricky, right? She's good to roam, but she's also good on site. It makes it very hard. What I like to do with Ella is I like to place 2 on popular entry sites near my anchors, and I like to keep 1 on me just in case the shields try to rush me. And then I either use the deployable shield for my team, or I play close enough to site so I can roam and come back to a deployable shield outside of site to help my team. I think she's probably the best shield counter. Like, just for, if you're only focused on getting rid of the shields, she's probably the best. Her guns are decent. I like her SMG. It's good. Her pistol's okay just because it has a sight on it. But yeah, she's mainly information and dealing with shields, but she's a 2-speed, so she's kind of hard to master, I would say, in terms of like strats for her, because it is kind of a chance. You have 3 of them, and most sites have at least 4 entryways. So, and if you use all 3 on the sites and leave 1 open, right, 75% chance it gets a shield coming through or something, or he gives people information. But then you have none on you, so what if the shields come rush you, right? You're screwed. So I'd put her top of A. I think there's better roamers. There's no, in my opinion, no better anti-shield, but I don't think that's enough to put her in S, because Echo has deployable and Echo's better. So she's not the best with deployable. She doesn't have the best guns for fragging. She's not the best roamer. She's not the best anchor, but she's really solid at a lot. And no rotatability. I'd put her A. All right, next we have Fenrir. I hate this op again. Not as bad as Dokubai, but Fenrir is S tier, which I really hate. Probably put just above Aruni. They nerfed him a lot, which is good, but I believe he has the bailiff. He has deployable cam, so he has rotatability. He has intel. He also has intel with his gadget. He also has fraggability because he has the MP7, so it allows him to swing on people who are blinded. But the thing is, he only has 4 now, and he can only activate 2 at a time, which isn't that bad, but it is. Because if 1 gets activated, I mean, they either don't push there or they die. Unless if your team is just not playing near it at all. But every time I've been able to use Fenrir, I find that it's always been useful to me and my team. I think it'd be pretty hard for it not to be. And if you can hide him, I mean, it's a guaranteed kill. He's got to be S tier. Nobody likes Fenrir, but yeah, we'll put him up there. Next we have Finka. I'm going F tier. Like I said, I think healing ops are absolutely terrible. What makes Finka good is she can pick up down people. In my opinion, Jesus, what was that? In my opinion, that is literally it. I think her guns are bad. The spear is a bad gun. Her LMG is bad. In my opinion, sausage might be her best gun. Pistol is mid. She has grenades, which kind of suck now. Like I said, her ability sucks. I don't think healing helps that much, and having your aim be more stable, I think, is going to mess you up more than is help. So, because you're used to, whatever gun you're using, you're not used to it being easier to hit. So, yeah, I don't think she's good. I'm going F for Finka. I think Finka's trash. All right, next we have Flores. This is so tough. Flores, Jesus, I feel like I'm giving out like S tiers everywhere. Is Flores S tier? He's gotta be. He's gotta be S tier. I'm putting him number 2 as of now. Flores' use, in my opinion, is immeasurable. However, what word would be used for that? He has a great gun. He has claymores to help him while he's droning. And he has the ability to do almost anything. Take care of wall denial, he can do. He can even get rid of mutes, believe it or not. His range is big enough, so as long as you know how to play him. He can flush people out very effectively, destroy almost all utility on defense. Almost all of it. Obviously not like everything that plays, but like every single type of utility, he can destroy almost all of them. And fourth, I don't think people realize his true potential. If you don't know, if you activate a Flores drone and get off of it, it keeps going. It is solo play as well. If you want to flush somebody out and you're playing solo, you could just send it in, and then you can kill him yourself while you flush them out. Like, I think Flores is so useful, especially just for getting rid of util. That is the main thing. But like, look, you look at some of the best defenders. Bandit, he can get rid of bandits. He can get bandit off the wall if he's tricking, right? The only thing that hurts is if someone's watching the drone hole, which sometimes they do, and the only thing that hurts him is the drones are loud, and they are kind of big, but they're flat, so a little bit harder to hit than a Brava. Azami, destroy Azamis with ease. Echo, he can probably get most echoes if they're near a wall. If not, he might not get the echo, but he'll get that deployable shield. Fenrir's can most of the time get them, unless if they're like on a ceiling. Arunis can get, although I wouldn't waste them on an Aruni. Yeah, he can get Ella's, which I wouldn't do that either. But he can get rid of the deployable shield. He can get rid of alibis. He can get rid of deployable cam with Doc. He can get rid of castle. He can flush out clash. Can't really do anything to Cav, but overall, you get my point. Flores is useful every single round. I just don't think people like using him because it's not really a fun style of play, in my opinion. All right, next we have Frost. I was honestly just going to go in mid. The two saving graces for Frost is deployable shield and ACOG, but she also has a secondary shotgun. Here's my problem. I said a lot of worse ops get deployable shield, which is true. And the reason why Frost has it is because her gun is a pea shooter. The recoil is weird. It does have ACOG, but it's a shit gun, honestly. She has the secondary shotgun, which is good for rotates, and she does have deployable shield, which is great. If you run deployable shield, why not run Ella? You can most of the time have someone else for rotates. Frost is very, very situational as well, because those frost mats, they're either going to work or they're not. And I know that sounds stupid, but there's a lot of other ops who are going to work and do more. Like Fenrir has a chance of not working, but they do more when they work. Frost, you could pick yourself up from Frostmat, and you just quite frankly can't play around all three. And if you have all three in close proximity to you and your team, unless if you have three roamers for some reason, they're most likely not going to fall for the Frostmats. So they're very tricky because same advice with Castle though. You got to be freaky. Don't place them like under a window. place them at the top of a staircase. People don't notice that. And then they run up there, and guess what? They're in the frost mat. Now they're at 20 health, and they're limping the rest of the game. But very situational, and I just don't think in a good way. But I do think she's perfectly balanced. I don't think she needs to be buffed, though. She is just a mid-tier op, and that's fine. So, yeah, I think B's perfect for her. All right, next we have Fuse. I'm going to put Fuse at the bottom of C. And now I know a lot of people may be wondering, or sorry, I should say it's probably split on Fuse. There's probably a bunch of lower ranks being like Fuse should be higher, and then there's a bunch of higher ranks probably saying Fuse should be an F. Fuse sucks. All of his guns suck, except the AK, which I don't like. So in my eyes, it sucks, but not a bad gun. He can have secondary hard breaches, which is okay, but he does need that. But it doesn't, and I feel like most of the time doesn't help him. He's good at destroying util and flushing out. Who did we just talk about that is way better at both of those? Flores and Deimos and Brava and like so many other ops are so much better at flushing out, getting rid of util, playing vertical. Fuse is pointless in my eyes. And Fuse is very easy to dodge, very easy to get rid of. You can shoot it almost immediately. And if you have a Jaeger, get rid of the first pellet. Because Fuse is, you're only going to get kills if you can trap someone or you're playing in low ranks or they're not paying attention. And the only way, I mean, you are probably going to destroy util, so it might be good, but I just think Flores is a way better option. So you can determine what you're destroying, right? And you never know what the Fuse is, man. They're just so goofy. He's definitely a lot better. But the one saving grace, the reason why I don't put him in F is because he does have a shield. Now, he is the worst shield, but he has a shield. And in a world of shield meta, he lives. So, yeah. I'd put him C tier just for his shield. Next we have Glaz. A lot of people hate on Glaz. Glaz is horrible. So the hate's deserved. Glaz is good for one thing, and that's seeing through smokes. He's going F tier. I don't even know why I put him in C. But other than the other two ops, he has a use, which is see through smokes. So I'll put him there. Although I like his gun. I think his gun is not bad. He has bearing 9, which is okay as well. But yeah, he's useless. Other than to see through smokes. Which you don't really need most of the time. Unless if you're doing like a planned smoke rush, which works sometimes. But you probably still don't need them. Anyway, we have Goyo. It's one of the tougher ones, I feel. I think he's going to go more towards top of A tier. For the main reasons, he has rotatability. He has one of the best SMGs in the game with ACOG. But his ability is hit or miss, in my opinion. It takes a lot of playing him to kind of know what to do. Because if you just place him on Windows, like, yeah, that could work. But also might not work. It's just, I think he's very hard to get to work. You do have 4 of them, so one of them will probably become useful. And he is really for wasting time. But it's a difficult decision to say, honestly. I can't see him being S tier just because he is very hit or miss. But his gun is going to give you a lot more value. You can make rotates with him with the impacts and stuff. And the impacts can also be used to blow up your Goyo canisters. So, yeah, I'll probably put him top of A tier because he can be very useful. I just think he's very, very hard to master and get full use out of. Next, we have Gridlock. It genuinely pains. I feel like this is going to be controversial, but I just don't care. Gridlock's going F tier. I'm sorry to all the Gridlock players. I like playing Gridlock, but she sucks. No good guns except Super Shorty, secondary. She has smokes, and she has anti-flank, which is good. But like I said, a lot of better people have smokes, which we've probably passed over a few. I've just forgot to mention. A lot of better people have smokes, and there is definitely better anti anti flank. Now, a lot of people may say with gridlock though, at least you're guaranteed information because they have to get rid of it, and if they don't, well, it might make a little bit of noise, so you might be able to hear. She's a one speed. She's slow. She brings nothing except anti flank, which there's another op that does that way better. And there's even another op who he probably doesn't do it better, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Gridlock's that good. I'm sorry, all the Gridlock fans. Now we have Grim. Very similar to Gridlock. He can also anti flank, but I do think Gridlock or Grim is slightly better. Not for the anti flank, but you can kind of play him up and below, up above and below floors because you can bounce the Grims off and stuff. So that helped him a little bit. His guns are kind of bad. Um, yeah, there's not much to say there. He has a cool logo though, but yeah, he's just slightly better gridlock because you have more verticality to play with him. Just forgot the word. All right, next we have Habana, who's S tier. In my opinion, better than Ace. I like her gun more. She has bearing 9. She can also get stuff from afar. I know Ace's holes are probably a little better. Pause. But she's better for hatches for sure. And I think when getting a wall, I pretty much always bring thermite. I know Ace is probably better in some situations, but I like thermite. So yeah, sorry. I'm gonna put Habana ahead. Same reason, same stuff I said about Ace pretty much goes for her. I just like her gun better. All right, next we have Ayana, who is mid. I'd probably put behind Frost. She's a mid-tier op. They probably won't touch her again. Well, they might. Her ability kind of sucks. It's just another drone that can recharge, which is great, but not at the same time. If you run someone like Twitch, that's 4 drones, or Brava, that's 4 drones. I know what you're saying. Iona can recharge. That takes time. She has flashes. I don't even think she has grenades anymore. She might, but I know she has flashes, which is okay. She has a good gun. The G36 is good, but the rest of her's not. So that's why I'd put her there, because she just has a solid gun, and having that rechargeable drone helps, but not enough to be anywhere good. Next, we have IQ. IQ is so hard to rank this season, honestly. I think IQ is a lazy pick, but not. It depends why you pick her. If you're just looking to see where the gadgets are, it's kind of lazy. Because you should be able to spot them about 99% of the time. Now, you are going to come across some like crazy Vault Cam you've never seen before, and like stuff like that. But for the most part, you should be able to spot it on a drone. Or if you're going to play from beneath, like Buck is just so much better. You just break it and look up. Or you could just break it with a normal gun. The hole is definitely big enough to see whatever you're looking for. So, but if you are playing IQ for Vigil, who is arguably the best roamer in the game right now, that might be valid. Might be. I think I'm just gonna put her above Iana though, because like I said, she's just kind of a lazy pick to find util. But if it's to find Vigil, her guns aren't that great either. But if it's to find Vigil, might be valid. Might be. Next we have Jackal. I think with Jackal, it is very dependent on who you are. Because with Jackal, let's compare Jackal to Deimos. They're very good ops. They're very similar as well. But what separates the two and what makes one better than the other? Some people say Deimos is better. Some say Jackal. Jackal has a secondary shotgun. Deimos has the best secondary pistol in the game. Other than, well, no, his is the best. But when I said Deagle earlier, I wasn't counting Deimos. But what makes him so different though is Deimos is like kind of a delayed 1v1. Obviously, not all the time. You can just use it for information. But with Deimos, it's not really. I don't know. It's not the same as Jackal because with Jackal, you don't get pinged and you keep your primary out. And it scares people. It gets them to run off, and or you can know where they are. It's so tough to debate between these two. I think I'd say Jackal is still better. And I know a lot of people probably want Jackal S tier. Jackal is so banned, but that's more just because he's annoying than anything. I don't really think that's because of how good he is. But that makes me want to put both of them in S tier. But I don't think I can. Because I just think with Deimos, when you play against the Deimos and you get tracked, you are kind of screwed. Like, yes, it's a 1v1, but yours is delayed. So he's going to be able to pre-fire you, and you're going to have to know where he is, right? That one's tough. Those two are interchangeable. They could go S tier. They're so hard to rank. But yeah, I'm gonna leave them there. Next we have Jaeger S tier. Jaeger is like Bandit. You could bring him to every single site and he'd be helpful. But with Bandit, it's about 90-95% of sites. Jaeger's every single site. Because I can think of, like, Bandit, you could bring him to Trophy on Villa, but I know, like, our stack, we don't bring him because we kind of have a strat going there. So you don't have to bring Bandit. You don't have to bring Jaeger either, but you definitely can. He'll always get his use. Jaeger's definitely always useful. They keep nerfing his gun, but his gun's still not bad. And he has the ADS, which obviously destroy projectiles and stuff. So, very simple. He's useful everywhere, so he's S tier. Next we have Cade, who's going to go with Bandit. Cade's guns are definitely a lot worse, and he's a 1-speed, but he has rotatability and a C4, so it's kind of pick your poison. I like Bandit better, so I'm going to put Bandit ahead, but it is very pick your poison. Obviously, you could throw Cades from, like, upstairs or below as well, but that's only if you don't have, like, a Thatcher. I don't know. It's Cade tricking or Bandit tricking, honestly, whichever you prefer. Jesus, it's starting to hurt to talk, but let's continue. Yeah, very simple on Cade. All right, now we have Callie, which my heart wants me to put right here. If you guys don't know, you may not if you have never seen a video before, I was definitely the best Callie player on console. On PC, I don't know. There's probably some other Callie main out there who's better than me, but I was the best Callie console player for sure. Multiple aces and high ranks. I mean, and I still do get aces every now and then with her on PC, but I don't play her as much. My favorite op in the game, though, for sure. But in all honesty, she's just... Is she even mid, though? She might be top of C tier. Because Sniper's not good. I don't use the secondary. If you use the secondary, you're not a real Callie. Or if you use the secondary, you're not a real Callie player. You're a pussy. I only use it to get rid of cams. But anyway. Yeah, the Sniper's not that practical compared to everything else. And she's used for mainly anti and getting rid of stuff. And as you know, if you've ever played the game for 5 minutes, there's a lot better for both of those. So she might even be F, but the bias makes me want to leave her in C. And her gun sucks, yeah. Her sniper does suck because half the time it doesn't one-shot, but it is what it is. I just, it pains. I want to put her higher. She probably should be lower. But I'd pick her over I'd pick her over a lot of ops above her too, but I'm leaving her C. I'm letting my bias take control on this one, okay? All right, next we have Capcan. I mean, this is perfect mid. It's the same thing as Cav, but better. Yeah, pretty much great in low rank, bad in high rank. That's it. All right, next we have Legion. Already back from that, we got Legion. Arguably the best roamer in the game. I mean, so useful. Intel, super shorty, great gun. I mean, he's S tier, right? Um, I'd probably put just ahead of Echo, just because his gun is better, even though Echo has ACOG. He has rotatability. He has intel just as well as Legion, or just as well as Echo. He just can't stop plant, which I feel, I don't know. Legion is more useful for the entire round than Echo, but Echo is obviously still very useful. All right, next we have Lion. Lion's pretty bad. Lion will go C tier ahead of Blackbeard. Now, obviously, you probably want to know why, because well, Lion sucks. His main gun, like his gun that's unique to him, isn't that bad. It's actually pretty good. The rest of his guns are pretty bad, though. He has grenades, which doesn't really matter, but his ability kind of sucks. Now, if you're in mid-low rank, it might work well, because say if you drone someone and see they're wide open and use the scan, he's probably not going to move. But you go against someone with the brain, I'm moving, not going to lie. I move a lot during the lion scan. I don't really care if they know where I'm at. Because if I know they know where I'm at, then either I know where they're at or I know they're not going to be able to get to me. So I don't really care. I think he's pretty useless. Doesn't do much, honestly. All right, next we have Maestro, who, like, I mean, they have never gave him a rework, but it might as well be. Every time he gets changed, it's like the biggest change in the world. Think he's going to go bottom A. Now, he's so hard to rank, but he has rotatability, he has bailiff, he has impacts, he has obviously 3 cameras that can stop plant denial, hit people, give intel, right? But and his LMG is the probably only one of the only 2 good LMGs in the game. It is actually pretty solid. He's a 1-speed. He's more of like an anchor Echo, to be honest. So, but he's still solid. But Echo's definitely the better choice. Maestro's definitely more fun though. You get more interactive with that, and I shoot my teammates a lot on purpose. So, yeah, I'm gonna put him bottom A because he's just like a slightly worse. Well, he's a pretty worse Echo, but he's still good. All right, next we have Maverick, and this is like the definition of falling from grace. I mean, this is 100 to 0 real quick. This is from hero to 0. Maverick is so bad now. I don't think he has a use. Honestly, like you can still Maverick trick, but is there a point? I would say not really. Now, people may disagree. I don't care. When's the last time you've seen a Maverick trick? I have a teammate who has perfected Maverick tricking, and he doesn't even do it anymore. He doesn't find the use in it. And he can do it like in, I don't know, 20 seconds, which may be a lot. I don't know. He can do it really quick, though. But he has good guns. I'll give him that. That's it. That's all he has is good guns. So he could go top of F. Actually, he can go ahead of Fuse. Nah, he's going back to top of F. The only thing he has is good guns. All right, next we have Malusi. This is going to be controversial. I see a lot of people talk about Malusi, and they say she is not good. I completely disagree. I think Malusi is one of the best defenders in the game. I don't care what anyone says. She has MP5. Sure, without ACOG, still a great gun. Yeah, she has she has super shorty, I'm pretty sure. She has a secondary shotgun of some sort, I'm pretty sure, for rotates. She has impacts. I don't remember her other one because I honestly just recently figured out she had a secondary shotgun. And yeah, she has 4 Malusis. I think it's so useful for just pure information. You're gonna know where someone is, like for sure. Like unless if they blow it up, which is totally possible, but then still you're gonna hear an explosion. You're gonna hear something. The only gripe I have with her is she is still a 1-speed. If she was a 2-speed even, she would be 10 times better. She is so slow to get around to her Malusis, right? Now, obviously, if you have a good team, they will understand. They'll hear the Malusi, they'll hear it blow up. They'll be like, oh, there's people there. But it's hard for you to play the Malusis just because you're going to have to spread them out. You're not putting all four near each other, and if you are, you're dumb. So I think she's so much better than people give her credit for. Now, I don't think she's an S tier op by any means, but she is a whole lot better than she gets credit for. I think she goes right above Goyo in A tier. I think it's the perfect spot for her. Super, super underrated op. I can't even remember who came out from the list. Sorry, I'm a little off track. Is Callie on my... Oh, it was Warden. All right, anyway. No, it's not Warden. Am I stupid? Or am I right? I'm getting a little off track here, but I kind of want to know. Oh, no, it was Ace. That's what it was. Okay. Next, we have Mira. I mean... I think I'm going to put her there. One of the best SMGs, probably the second best SMG in the game. Secondary shotgun for rotates. Probably the best form of information you can have, being able to peek. You can get freaky with it and get a ton of people. You can hide with it, and you can do whatever. You have C4. She's useful on 95% of sites, just like Bandit and Cade, so she's going to go with them. She could go behind them, or she could go above them, but she's definitely a more fun playstyle, so she'll go above. I was tempted on putting her above Jaeger, but like I said, Jaeger, useful 100% of the time. Mira, like 95%. Next, we have Monty. I mean, number one. Nothing you can do against a Monty, a good Monty. And like I said with the Blitz, the only rank that can really counter shields is like the Plat Emerald range, because it's the only one where the shields aren't good enough to be invincible and where the aim is good enough to stop them. Because in Copper, the shields aren't going to be good either. But you think the Copper is going to be able to kill them? No. And in Bronze and Silver, same thing. Right? Even Gold, I don't think they'd be able to. And then you get to the high rank like Champ and like Pro League, they can't stop a shield. That shield's immortal. They have nothing to stop a Monty. You can't stop it. Monty is invincible. There's not a single thing you can do to him. And you have someone play behind him, and it's wraps. Like, Monty is the best op in the game right now, hands down. A lot of the same things as Blitz with the shields, like I said, but he can full extend, and you can't hit that out the way. And he can run with it now, too. Like, yeah, he's too good. And he has smokes, so, yeah. Too good. Monty is the best op in the game. I think this is going to hurt a lot of people. Mozzie is C tier, bro. I don't really care what anyone says. Mozzie is C tier. Yes, he can capture drones and move them around, but he lost his rotatability. I think he still has C4, but who really cares? He is worse Echo. Now, I know his drones could be sneaky because I don't know if it's friend or enemy drone, but it's pretty easy to tell if you've ever been droned as a defender. It's what most Mozzies do. They just drone you as an attacker, or they use it as another like placement cam, like another default almost. But I think Echo's better in almost all of those. The only thing is you're going to notice an Echo before a Mozzie. That's it. So, yeah, Mozzie's bad. The only reason he gets up there is he's Intel, right? He's still Intel, but he's the worst. Why would you pick him? But he's Intel. His guns are trash, too. Other than P10 Roni, but it's hard to find a Mozzie player using P10 Roni because, oh, Commando's so cool, I flipped the mag out. Alright, next we have Mute. I'm not putting him in C, but I'm deciding. I think Mute's going to go towards the top of A. Is the shotgun SMG-11 class setup, which is great, obviously. He stops pretty much all electronics. That's kind of it. He's very counterable now, very easy to get around the mutes. Like I said, even Flores can destroy mutes, which mutes are kind of for muting drones and stuff. So he's still very useful. It's just hard, I guess. Hard to use him properly. And hard to find a reason to pick him over other ops. Just gonna be very quick on that one. That one's simple. Most people know mute. Knock, actually. The only thing about her that's even okay is that if you're, I think, walking or might be crouched, she's completely invisible. You don't even see like the little vigil bar things on her. She has some of the worst guns ever. She has Deagle, sure, grenades, sure, but like grenades kind of suck. Yeah, she's horrible. All right, next we have Nomad. Definitely the way better version than Gridlock. I would put Nomad. I'd probably put her above Deimos and Jackal. Actually, I'd probably put her above Mute, too. Now, I'm noticing this. If you've made it this far in the tier list, let me know what you think. That, like, some of these ops I'm rating bad because there's better versions. Do you like that, or do you think, oh, just because they're a better version doesn't mean they're bad? But, like, in my eyes, there is, because, like, there's no reason to pick Gridlock, so that makes her bad. Right? I mean, she's if Nomad's banned, she's not bad. Like if Nomad's banned, she'd probably be like low A, top B. But no one ever bans Nomad, and so you always have that option. So why'd you ever pick Gridlock? I don't know. But anyway, I'll get back to Nomad. It's way better Gridlock, way better guns. She's kind of the opposite of like Jackal and Deimos, where she's not hunting down people. She's stopping them. She's stopping the hunters from hunting her and her team down. So I think that's fair placement. She's just way better. Gridlock. All right, next we have Oryx. Oryx is F tier. He's probably... Yeah, probably under Knock. Now, a lot of people... No, he has a better gun. He's going above Knock and Glass. A lot of people are probably confused as to why I put Oryx here. A lot of reasons. I'll start with the good. He can make rotates. Not well, but he can make rotates. And he can stop shields to an extent. And he has a good gun. His best part is definitely the good gun, by the way. I believe he has Bailiff secondary as well, but I'm not sure. His ability to stop shields is horrible. I can't tell you the amount of times I've killed an Oryx with Blitz or Monty, or the amount of times he's charging directly at me, and I've killed him, because you can melee him. You can melee him before he hits you, and it knocks him down. So, just really bad. And he just charges straight ahead. No movability or whatever. He's horrible. Not really good for anything other than his gun. That's it. So, yeah, Oryx is F tier. Next we have Osa. A poor man's shield in today's game. Very good guns. It's just like an offensive deployable shield, right? Very counterable by the defense with explosives. But it's hard because, like, I have a teammate who plays Osa a lot, and he makes it work. But is Osa really that good? No. Osa can go behind Mozzie. Not much to explain. It's just, there's no point to run her, honestly. I mean, shields aren't bad, but why would you run her over a normal shield? Next we have Pulse. Pulse is a good roamer for sure. I'll probably put him, yeah, I'll probably put him right above Maestro. He has the ump, which sucks, but he has a shotgun that's decent. But still run the ump. I run the ump. It's good enough. Obviously, he has the heartbeat sensor, which he can see people through like walls, which is great. And he has a C4. He's very good at plant denial. He's just a very good roamer. But there's just not much to him. So that's why it only lands him in A and not like S. There's just not much there. Next we have Ram. Ram. This might be a hot take. I think Ram is S tier. I think she's literally just utility Ashe. She's good at fragging, but she has more util. That's simply it, and she can make a lot more noise. Um, yeah, that is all. I think she's just utility Ashe, but slower. So, but I'd still put her ahead. So yeah, that's simple. Next we have Rook. Rook is mid. He has good guns. He has rotate ability. But his ability is really bad. It just like makes you get downed if they don't hit a headshot. Uh, most of the time you're gonna end up dying anyway, but it always gives you a use, I guess. And like he has good rotate ability and good guns, so he can go mid. His ability is just horrible. All right, next we have Sens. What about Finka? Sens is horrible because she is counterable so easily. I mean, one explosive and everything's gone. Her guns suck. There's nothing really redeemable about her. If you can get her ability to work, like I mean, if you can get her ability to stay up, then it might work out for you 30% of the time. It's horrible. This would be Sentry on defense, right? Yeah. Okay, so Sentry. Sentry have a secondary shotgun? I can't remember. I think so. I honestly think Sentry probably gonna go above Ram. The reason why is because Sentry's primary gun isn't good, but I believe Sentry has a secondary super shorty. But C4 deployable shield, I mean, that's enough for anything. You could run deployable cam shield. You could run. You're running the shield though. I'm telling you that you're not switching that off. So you can run shield impacts, whatever. But yeah, just the perfect sight setup character. You can roam with them, and you can frag with them. So I say S tier, just very Swiss Army knife. All right, next we have Scopos, the new op. After playing Scopos for quite a bit, I would say A tier above Mute. Her gun is really good. She has impacts. The switching between robots is nice. I think we haven't really cracked mastery on Scopos yet. Like, I don't think anyone's like a Scopos master, so can't see the full potential. But very good at roaming, because if you're roaming, you can come back to site. If you have one off site and you hear they're roaming, you can go behind them. It's just very, very good, but just very situational, because you kind of, because like, for example, I have a strat on Clubhouse where I watch through like third floors with Scopos. And the only reason it works is because of Scopos, which is great. You can do strats that only work with her, but they're still iffy. Because if you're watching through 3 floors, but they don't come that way, pause. I said that way too hesitantly. If they don't go that way, then that other robot's kind of useless unless you bring it back down there. But you have that option of switching, so why would you bring it back down there? There's no point. Because you're probably going to run into somebody on the way and then die. So you're just going to switch, and now that robot is useless. It's not useful as a cam, and you're kind of losing some of the ability. But Scopos could be S tier. It's just hard to tell. Even though I've played her quite a bit, it's hard to really see how good she is. Next, we have Sledge. I think Sledge is mid now. There's no point to run him over Buck in my eyes. And his guns are good, like his primary guns. But grenades aren't all that, and I think he has breach charges, which he doesn't need, so he's just mid. Honestly, good gun, that's it. His ability's not bad, but you're not going to bring him over Buck, in my eyes. Next we have Smoke. Smoke got nerfed pretty heavily by losing the deployable. But there are some decent ops like Ella and Striker to where you could get a deployable back with Smoke, which helps a lot. Smoke, I mean, is very good denial. He's not the best denial anymore, though, in my opinion. Does he go S tier? I don't think so. I think he goes right above Scopos. There's a reason why there is a better denial, like plant denial, that we haven't got to yet. So next we have Solus. I mean, they've nerfed Solus so hard. I still like to play her because SMG 11 and the Itali. She's probably mid. It's just like I think she's slightly better than IQ, but you can't see what the gadgets are. And the only time I feel like Scopus is helpful is one, playing underneath with Diffuse, but you could just play Pulse. And but her guns are better than Pulse's, being honest, so I don't know. But she's slower. But the only other reason is if you see someone droning and then you find but they don't drone you out and you're able to run out and kill them because you see where they're at on their phone. But that's it. Everything else, if you hear a drone, you should be able to get that. Think she's gonna be top of B. She's just been nerfed so hard. Her ability can confuse you. It might not even help all the time. It can be confusing. So yeah, it's hard. It hurts me to put Solus that low, but yeah. All right, next we have Striker, the worst op in the game. Sentry is one of the best, and Striker is the worst, the absolute worst. Actually, he's bottom 2. I don't know if he's the worst yet. We'll have to see, but he is the worst, at least right now. His guns are horrible. The gadgets are horrible. He does nothing good. There's no point to run him. I'm moving on. Next, we have Tachanka. Tachanka's S tier. He's the best denial. His LMG is broken. You don't like the SMG? He has the best, or LMG. He has the best SMG in the game. He has deployable shield as well. I don't know what else to say. He can counter a lot of stuff, including wall breachage. Gosh, but only on thermite really, because the rest can shoot from afar. But I'd probably put him. You can also deny a lot of area. I'd probably put him above Echo. Tachanka's super underrated. So good right now. Next we have Thatcher. I mean, Thatcher's always going to be S tier. They've done some stuff to try to nerf him, but he's still really solid. I mean, you don't have to bring him every time, but he's pretty good. I put him above Echo. You can bring him 90% of the time, and he's going to be useful. Next we have Thermite. In my opinion, the best hard breacher. I just don't see a world where any of the other two are better. He has smokes. He has the better gun, in my opinion. He makes bigger holes. I like it. So, yeah, he's just going to go ahead of him. All the hard breachers, though, they're interchangeable, really. He's not that much better, but in my opinion, he's the best. Next, we have Thorn. Thorn, in my eyes, is similar to Cav and Clash. I'm going to put her above Clash. It's very easy to shoot her stuff. It's very easy to walk away. The only combo you can do is Barb and Thorn. That will probably be effective. But you can still shoot it pretty easily. As long as you drone, it's not hard to miss these. Her guns suck. She has deployable shield, though, so I think this is one where the lower rank you are, the better she is. The higher rank you are, the worse she is. So I think that's a fair spot for her. Next, we have Thunderbird. Yeah, like I said, healing is horrible in Siege. Her guns are bad. She has impacts, which is literally the only reason she's ahead of Striker. The only one. Turb. He's a big time waster. Great gun, 3-speed, C4. He's probably going to go bottom S. Just because he's not the best at it. He's not the best time waster. He doesn't have the best gun. He does have C4, obviously. He's a 3-speed. He's not the best 3-speed, but he's good enough. He's really good at all of them, so he can go S. Twitch is also going to go S. She's just a way better Brava, in my opinion. Rather destroy it than, I don't know. She's just a lot better. Yeah, she's very good at getting rid of util. Probably put her above or right behind Blitz. She's still really solid. So yeah. Valk. Ever since they stopped allowing you to throw the cams outside, I've just always had a bitter sweet feeling about Valk. For those who don't know, I have PC and console combined. I'd probably have 70 or 80 hours on Valk, which is by far my most played operator. The only one that's close is Callie, probably. And she's still great. I mean, she still is S tier, but she used to probably be the best cam op. I'd probably put her behind Sentry. She's still really good, though. Vigil. Is he really this good to go up here? He is the best gun in the game, the best gun combo in the game. Rotates, the best roam ability. Yeah, I'd honestly put him number 2. Vigil's so fucking annoying. It's ridiculous. Fuck Vigil. All right, well, my really awful Jaeger. He's going to go there. His guns suck, too. All he can do is do rotates. That's it. Warden. People sleep on Warden. I'm not going to lie. I'm also a Warden main, kind of. A lot of people say 1.5 made, but it's more MPX made. I have all those hours on Valk, so makes sense for me to play Warden. And that deployable shield, baby. I mean, come on. You're not getting much use out of his ability, but frag-wise and deployable shield-wise, he's good. I'd probably put him just above Lion. Yang, I mean, is a top 5 op. Just super, super annoying. I'd go ahead of Dokkaebai right now since Ying doesn't have a cooldown like Dokkaebai. But very similar to Dokkaebai, she just is annoying as fuck. That's it. No matter what team you're on attack with Ying, you'll probably get blinded and get pissed. All right, we have 2 ops left. Obviously, Recruit's not in the game anymore. Don't know why it's on this tier list, but Recruit's not going to be ranked. Zero, very decent solo op. Very decent all around. I would say very above average at everything, but not super great at anything. So we go top of A. And then Zafia, worst op in the game. Pretty easy, in my opinion. It's either Zafia or Striker. Pick your poison. Zafia is just 10 times worse Ashe. The only unique thing about her is the concussion, but I'd honestly rather have stuns and grenades on Striker. So Zafia is the worst. Her guns are horrible. She has no use at all on a team. Well, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. We'll go lay down now. I'm feeling pretty sick, so thank you.